If you're planning to claim Italian citizenship through your family ties, you're in for a big update in today's video. In 2025, Italy passed a game-changing law that's shaking up the world of citizenship by descent, and it's got millions of people rethinking their plans. The new decree/law number 36, signed into effect on March 28, 2025, limits Italian citizenship by descent to just parents and grandparents. No more great-grandparents or beyond. This is a huge deal, and I'm here to break it all down, what the law means, who's affected, why Italy made this change, and what you can do if you're hoping to become an Italian citizen. So first, let's talk about what Italian citizenship by descent actually is. So for years, Italy has had one of the most generous citizenship policies in the world. If you could prove you had an Italian ancestor, whether a parent, grandparent, great-grandparent, or even great-great-grandparent, who was alive after March 17th, 1861, when Italy became a unified nation, you were eligible to apply for citizenship. There was no generational limit, which meant millions of people, especially in countries like the US, Canada, Argentina, Brazil, and Australia, could claim Italian citizenship based on their family tree. This opened the door to an Italian passport, which is one of the most powerful in the world, offering visa-free access to 194 countries as of 2025. But now that door is closing for a lot of people. And by the way, Italy, you could have argued, was the most powerful passport in the world, or the best passport in the world that you could possibly have, until this new decree took effect. But now with this new decree, it's a little bit less valuable of a passport, right? Because you can't give it to as many generations of your descendants. So what exactly does the new law say? According to Decree Law number 36, you can only claim Italian citizenship by descent if you have a parent or grandparent who was born in Italy, or you have a parent who lived in Italy for at least 2 continuous years before you were born. That's it. If your closest Italian ancestor is a great-grandparent or further back, you are no longer eligible. This is a massive shift. Experts estimate that 60 to 80 million people worldwide could have qualified under the old rules, particularly descendants of Italians who emigrated during the late 19th and early 20th centuries. Now, millions are being cut off overnight. To put it in perspective, in 2024, Italy granted citizenship to 30,000 people in Argentina and 20,000 people in Brazil alone. That's a lot of new Italians, and that's part of why this change is so controversial. Let's visualize this for a second. Imagine your family tree. Under the old rules, you could trace your Italian lineage as far back as you could find records. We at MyLatinLife, we've helped multiple people get citizenship via great-grandparents. Now the government's essentially saying, nope, we're drawing a line at grandparents. If your Italian ancestor is further back than grandparents, your claim is done. This has left a lot of people heartbroken, especially those who've spent years researching their ancestry, collecting documents, and saving up for the costly application process. Speaking of reactions, the internet is on fire with this news. I was scrolling through X the other day, and the posts are intense. One user from Argentina wrote, "I've been working on my citizenship for 3 years, and now my great-grandfather doesn't count. This is unfair." Another person said, "Italy's turning its back on its diaspora. My family's Italian through and through." And the frustration is real. It's not just about losing access to a passport. For many, this was about reconnecting with their heritage, moving to Italy, or securing a future in the European Union. If you're feeling this way, drop a comment below. We'd love to hear your story. So, why did Italy make this change? The official reasoning comes from Foreign Minister Antonio Tajani, who said the system was being abused, quote unquote abused. And it probably was. According to him, too many people with minimal ties to Italy were applying for citizenship just to get the benefits of an Italian passport, like visa-free travel or the ability to live and work in the EU. Tajani even made a jab saying citizenship isn't a ticket to go shopping in Miami. Quote, that's literally what he said. He said citizenship is not a ticket to go shopping in Miami. Harsh. The numbers back up his point, though. Italian consulates worldwide were overwhelmed, processing hundreds of thousands of applications each year. In some places, like Buenos Aires, wait times for an appointment stretched to 20 years just to get an appointment at the Italian consulate. In 2024, consulates in Brazil and Argentina were handling so many cases that they couldn't keep up, leading to delays and backlogs. But there's more to the story. Some analysts suggest this law is also about politics. Italy's current government, led by Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni, has taken a hard stance on immigration and national identity. Limiting citizenship by descent can be a way to signal that Italy is prioritizing quote-unquote true Italians, those with closer, more recent ties to the country. It's worth noting that this law doesn't just affect descendants abroad, it's part of a broader push to tighten citizenship rules, including for children born in Italy to immigrant parents, who still have to wait until they're 18 to apply for citizenship. Critics argue this creates a double standard. Why make it harder for the diaspora to claim citizenship while also denying it to people raised in Italy? Or there's a lot more arguments too. They say, why would you want to encourage immigration from the third world when you could just get immigration from Argentina and places like that, or even from the US and Canada? Now, let's address the elephant in the room, the law itself. So Decree Law number 36 was passed as an emergency measure, which means it bypassed normal parliamentary debate. That's raised some eyebrows. Legal experts like Samantha Wilson from Smart Move Italy have called it constitutionally weak, quote unquote, because it might violate Italy's principle of equality under the law. There's already talk of court challenges, with some predicting cases could reach Italy's constitutional court by late 2026. If that happens, the law could be overturned, but don't hold your breath. Legal battles take time, and there's no guarantee of success. So, what does this mean for you? If you're thinking about applying for Italian citizenship, here's a detailed rundown of where you stand. And by the way, things are kind of evolving, so this might not be perfect, but here's a bit of an idea. So if you've already applied, great news. If your application was submitted before March 28th, 2025, it'll be processed under the old rules. That means great-grandparents and beyond still count. However, you'll need to make sure your documents are complete, as consulates are cracking down on incomplete applications. If your ancestor is a parent or grandparent, you're in the clear. The new law doesn't affect you as long as you can prove your parent or grandparent was born in Italy and didn't naturalize in another country before your birth. If your ancestor is a great-grandparent or further back, I'm sorry, but the new law seems to exclude you. Your only hope is a potential court challenge overturning the law, but that's a long shot for now. However, I'll give you a glimmer of hope here. I have seen some talk on Twitter, X, about for people who are already alive, they're still eligible, right? So people who, like for you watching this video who was already born, you kind of get grandfathered into the old rules, but people who will be born in the future who aren't born yet, this is who the new rules would apply to. I haven't seen clarity on this, but that's something that's been talked about on X, meaning that, meaning there might be a shot here. But that's something we're gonna have to dig into. That could be a video in and of itself. Now, another case is if your parent has lived in Italy for 2 years. So there's a 2-year residency clause. If your parent lived in Italy for at least 2 continuous years before you were born, you might still qualify, even if your ancestor is further back, but you'll need solid proof like residency records or utility bills. Okay? So if you are eligible, let's talk about the application process, because it's not exactly a walk in the park. You'll need to gather birth, marriage, and death certificates for every single generation, your Italian ancestor, and everyone in the direct line to you. These documents need to be translated into Italian by a certified translator, not just any translator. It needs to be a translator approved by the consulate usually. These documents need to be apostilled, which is a fancy way of saying they need an international certification. You'll also need to prove that your Italian ancestor didn't naturalize in another country before your parent or grandparent was born, which might mean digging into US or Argentine naturalization records, for example. There is an application fee as well. And here's the big change to note. Consulates are no longer processing citizenship by descent applications. All applications now go through a centralized office in Rome, and you'll be required to attend an in-person interview in Italy. This means factoring in travel costs, which could easily push the total expenses up, thousands of dollars more than they used to be. The good news here, the silver lining, is that the centralized processing might actually reduce wait times in the long run, but for now, expect delays as the system adjusts. So let's answer some common questions you might have. You might ask, can I still apply if I don't speak Italian? Yes, language is not a requirement for citizenship by descent. It is a requirement for citizenship by marriage, actually, which is new as well. But for citizenship by descent, it is not a requirement. Though now you're going to have to navigate an in-person interview in Italy, right? So maybe you can bring a translator. I'm not sure how that's going to work. Another big question is, what if my ancestor was female? This is a big one because historically Italian citizenship laws favored men. But since the 2009 court ruling, women can pass citizenship to children born after January 1st, 1948. If your female ancestor's case falls before that, you might need to go through the courts, which is a whole other process. I believe it's called a 1948 case, and that's a whole other thing. Deserves its own video. Another question is, can I apply if I live in Italy? Absolutely. In fact, applying from Italy can be faster as you deal directly with the local municipalities, but you'll still need to meet the new eligibility rules. Another question is, what about dual citizenship? Italy allows it, so you won't have to give up your current citizenship to become Italian. Check your country's laws, though. Some nations don't permit dual citizenship. Another question is there a deadline to apply? No hard deadline, but the law could become permanent within 60 days of March 28, 2025 if Parliament approves it. If you're eligible, don't wait. Start gathering documents now. If you're feeling discouraged, I get it. Maybe you were imagining sipping espresso in Rome or reconnecting with your nonna's village. This law is a setback for many, but there are still paths forward. If you're eligible, act fast. If not, keep an eye on court challenges or explore other routes, like residency-based citizenship. Okay, another one would be marriage to an Italian citizen. Okay, you could also look into other EU countries with descent-based citizenship, like Ireland, which has its own generous rules. Before I wrap up, a quick tip: start your research with family records, like old passports or immigration documents. Websites like Ancestry.com or FamilySearch.org can help, and don't be afraid to reach out to Italian comunes for records. They're often more helpful than you'd expect. If the process feels overwhelming, MyLatinLife can help with the Italian citizenship process, okay? There's a link in the description where you can book a call with us. and we can make a game plan for you. My Latin Life is a full-scale immigration consultancy covering Latin America as well as Latin Europe, including Italy. And we've helped many, many people get Italian citizenship, so we can make a game plan for you as well. So link in the description, book a call with us. We can talk all things Italy, different visas in Italy, citizenship options, as well as look at your holistic situation, help you lower your taxes, get residency and citizenship around the world. Cool? So that's it for today. What do you think about Italy's new citizenship law? Are you affected, or do you have a story to share? Let me know in the comments. And if this video helped, give it a thumbs up and share it with anyone chasing Italian citizenship. Subscribe and hit the bell for more updates on global citizenship and travel. Until next time, ciao, and keep dreaming of la dolce vita.